Welcome back to Great Reasons to Visit Ireland. Let's explore more of the province of Munster. It's time for my home county, Cork. On the way from the Kingdom of Kerry, I stopped on the stunning Beara Peninsula to talk to John Power from Beara Distillery.
I'm the co-owner of Beara Distillery. We started making our Beara Ocean Gin back in 2017. The whole thing was that we wanted to create something that was reflective of the area first and foremost. The gin is actually a blend as well of several different distillates. One of them is seaweed, the second one is fuchsia bud, and finally we infuse it with Atlantic salt water. Through my travels all over Western Scotland and places like that, where you could see that it was a very vibrant industry in very rural areas, I said it would be a good fit for here. We laid down whiskies 4 years ago now. Beara blend, it's a black cask blend we call it, and the Beara single malt and a single grain. There was never a distillery in the Beara Peninsula before, even though back centuries and centuries ago there was a lucrative spirits industry through smuggling of brandy and all this. When people tour the peninsula, they can see that this place is quite unique, so it all marries in together in that. To experience our products in the local bars is probably the best way to get it anyway. You get the atmosphere of the place and you get to meet the local people as well. Lots of people feel that the Beara Peninsula is a bit like a hidden gem really. Unique things to see here, like the only cable car in Europe that goes across the sea into Jersey. Every corner you turn in the Ring of Beara, you have a different picture. We wanted to kind of have a reflection of the marine culture and our own marine background, and what we're achieving now is having premium products that are not crazily priced. We want people to say, oh yeah, I know that product, it's a good product.
Beara to Kinsale is a 2-hour drive, but you have to take your time when in soulful West Cork. Stop at Drumbagstone Circle to truly feel the call of ancient Ireland at the Druids' altar. Have a coffee in picturesque locations like Glandore or Rosscarbery. Try Clonakilty for a pint or to salute the big fella. Then it's on to Kitty O'Shea's in Kinsale. Kitty O'Shea's was envisioned with one purpose in mind: great crack. You'll find a warm and authentic atmosphere, delicious food and drink, and lively traditional music with a friendly mix of locals and international visitors. Conversations and pints flow in equal measure. Or on a summer's evening, you'll be swept up in joyful dancing, musicians standing on countertops and everyone singing in chorus. There's something for everyone at Kitty O'Shea's. I'm from Kinsale, so home sweet home has to include a visit to Mammy, that's Mary Coughlan at the Armada, for some traditional music, great pints and maybe a game of pool or darts.
Ireland is a beautiful country to come to, and the people are very friendly, and the bars and the music and all, it's absolutely magical. They don't have anything like it in any other part of the world. Kinsale is one of the oldest towns in Ireland, and there is Charles Fort to visit, out to the old head of Kinsale where there's a magnificent golf course, so there's great things to do by day and to come back in and visit all the restaurants. And of course, as you know, Kinsale is known as the gourmet capital of Ireland because of all our lovely, magnificent restaurants. Where are you off to next?
I'm going to go to the Cozy Cafe for breakfast in the morning.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
On a Wednesday morning from 8:30 a.m, you can visit the market for great coffee and wonderful food or sustainable gifts. But it's Cozy Cafe for the best breakfast in town.
I'm from Switzerland initially. I came here about 16 years ago and I fell in love with Kinsale. I always worked in a restaurant and hotel, and my previous job was in a cafe as well, and I just loved the feeling and the vibe of the cafe and the way people meet up. I wanted to create a place where I could cook and create dishes with local products. We are very lucky that way, as Kinsale is everything you need from the sea, from the land. So I'm changing the menu twice a year, once for the summer and one for the winter.
So it's at the perfect spot for
That's right, for
breakfast and lunch.
if you can get a table. I've met my wife here in Kinsale, so we have 3 children now, and we found that Kinsale was the ideal place to stay, create a family, and then open our own business. On a family day, I will go to Garrettstown if it's a nice day with the kids to the beach or shopping in the city. In Switzerland during COVID, a lot of restaurants use the old cable car to put outside the premises. So I thought I'll do the same. And my parents brought me over from Switzerland a cable car to use about there.
How did they bring that?
I'm a trailer. Then we got the sun all day because it's rising up there, it's going down that way. It's a place for everyone on everyone's place.
There's plenty to keep you in County Cork, but do try to get to Munster's 6 counties. I decided on a 2-hour drive to the House of Waterford Crystal.
I'm working with Waterford just over 50 years. I began in 1972 and I spent most of my working life as a craftsman in the cutting department and now in sales. In 1947, after the war, 2 Czechoslovakians, a man called Charles Bacek and Maurice Supple, they came to Ireland to help train Irish people into the craft of cutting and blowing. Maurice Supple, the first thing he did when he got to Ireland was that he went to the National Museum, he looked at all the old drawings of Waterford Crystal and he started creating designs. His most famous design was the Lismore pattern. That's celebrating 70 years this year and the pattern is based on Lismore Castle in County Waterford. To visit Waterford, people should keep in mind that it's the oldest city in Ireland. There's a building down the road that flies the Irish flag. It was the first building that they flew the flag from. You also have the Greenway. They call it the sunny southeast. One of the famous areas would be the Copper Coast, from Waterford onto Dungarvan. Beautiful scenery, but also Waterford Crystal being the famous crystal brand. You can do the factory tour, and on that you will see manufacturing at first hand and close up. After the factory tour, then obviously you'll turn into the showrooms. We probably have on display the biggest collection of Waterford Crystal that you'll find in the world. But when they walk into the retail store, they're taken straight away by the sparkle of the crystal, The friend of staff as well. It's an experience for them. It's like doing a tour of the museums. They get the benefit of actually seeing the product being made. And they have a more appreciation then of what they're buying.
It is well worth spending a day in this fabulous city. And another must-visit is Waterford Whisky Distillery.
My role here is the head brewer. In the last 5 years, we've converted the old Guinness brewery into a working distillery. We do things a little different here. We source our barley from single farm batches, where our ethos is investigating flavour. We've looked at Arcadian series whiskies, which is looking at different methods of farming, through organic farming, through biodynamic farming, looking at old heritage varieties and seeing what flavours come from all these different types of farming. Mark Rainey, our CEO, came from the wine industry, so he's over 20 years experience in that side of the business. It exists in wine and nobody questions it. Why can't we investigate it for whiskey? Barley is a raw material, it grows all over Ireland, and we did a scientific experiment with Chagas Research Centre in Ireland where we've proven the terroir concept. So barley grown in this field versus barley grown in this field have different flavour compounds. You don't have to be a scientist, you just go up to the safe, taste each single different farm, and there's noticeable taste differences between each of them. So yeah, it's mind-blowing that way. We're in the process of producing the most profound single malt whiskey that you can get on the market, and the way we've laid down our single farms and the way we process our spirit, we will achieve that.
Another 2-hour drive takes us to Limerick, but you really will find so many places that you want to visit along the way. I'd advise you to add in an extra night in County Tipperary for yourself. But for my short itinerary, we must make the last entry at 4 p.m. to the stunning King John's Castle, a Discover Limerick attraction and one of Europe's best preserved Norman castles. Evidence of earlier features indicate its pivotal role in Irish history before King John, dating back to the 9th century. Now it's a visitor centre with state-of-the-art touchscreen technology where visitors climb the turrets and absorb views that have witnessed 800 years of Irish history, dine in the Siege Cafe, or shop for unique crafts and gifts. If, like me, you love a gorgeous memento of your travels, I have the perfect place to visit before you leave Limerick. Welcome to Silverwood Jewellery, a family-owned business trading since 1997. Their wonderful selection of hallmarked silver and gold, Celtic, Claddagh and Wild Atlantic Way jewellery will connect you with heritage and home, as well as create precious memories. Browse eclectic collections of unusual handcrafted once-off treasures, or consult with Basha, the master goldsmith, about magically turning your own jewellery dream into an exquisite, precious reality. Silverwood looks forward to your visit. It is only 20 minutes to the village of Adair, so in preparation for an early morning tee-off at the golf course at Adair Manor, I am thrilled to be staying in this gorgeous location for the final night of our Munster trip. It's only 80 minutes to the iconic Cliffs of Moher in County Clare, which I would thoroughly recommend. But for this trip, I chose an excellent morning on the golf course at Adair Manor. I was coming to the end of my week, but I had one more item on the County Limerick bucket list: a visit to the fabulous Margaret O'Shaughnessy at the infamous Foynes Flying Boat and Maritime Museum.
I'm the director here at the Foynes Aviation and Maritime Museum, and we're sitting in our lovely O'Regan's restaurant, which way back in that time was where Irish coffee was invented in 1943. Foynes was famous because it was Ireland's first international airport. It goes way back a long time now to 1987. We saw that, there was no flying boat museum anywhere in the world. And you have so many that come because this flying boat, the Yankee Clipper, there's none of them in existence, and we built this replica and it's 100% perfect. Maureen O'Hara came on board and she became our patron and officially opened it on the 8th of July 1989. It was the 50th anniversary of the first passenger crossings of the Atlantic. We're in the middle of $4.5 million development now. We'll be able to do film festivals. We're going to have this new Maureen O'Hara Museum, but you'll also have the facilities of a cinema. When Maureen did Only the Lonely, we got the European premiere and we did it in the Savoy in Limerick. But John Candy was to come, and John Candy had a football team and they were in a big league match and he couldn't come. But he sent me a big bag of autographed postcards, photographs of him and various things. And you never know who'll come in the door. You get to meet fantastic people.
What's the most important thing for you personally?
That it will continue to survive and grow and become world famous. And I think of the steward and I say, ladies and gentlemen, follow me.
From Foynes, you can easily take a trip to the neighbouring provinces of Leinster and Connaught. Join me next week for more great reasons to visit Ireland.